Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy VI. Last time, we infiltrated the now Imperial-occupied South Figaro as Locke, and made a new ally, the Gestalian Empire general turned traitor Celeste, who is also a magic user like Terra, which is a valuable asset to our team. And we're gonna try and get out of here. We're currently in the basement of the South Figaro mansion, and we'll try to see if we can find our way out of here without needing to alert any guards. So let's go ahead and turn on encounters. I've put Celeste in the back row, but I guess I should go ahead and showcase any gear that we need for her, as she doesn't really come with anything. First things first, we're gonna equip this Magus hat here that we bought earlier, and give that to her. We'll give her the silk robe as well. In terms of weapons, I think for right now, we'll give her the heavy shield. And, I mean, her weapon isn't really all that important right now, but we'll give her the mithril sword. And then in terms of equipment, I think the best that we're really gonna do is, let's do the, this is a little difficult. I guess for right now, we'll do the mithril glove to just increase her defenses, and we'll leave it at that. Since she's not going to be doing many physical attacks right now, as I'm going to use her as a magic user right now, we won't need to worry about darkness and whatnot. There's a clock right here, an old clock. It's not ticking. Let's wind it. I do have encounters on. There are actually encounters in this basement that we're about to go into that I want to make sure I grab. As again, the bestiary is now super duper important to us, as it will be very important for leveling up Gao. This is a new area, though, in terms of the basement. If we look at our map, we can see that there are a bunch of treasure chests. If we go into these secret areas right here, where there's normally not a path, we can fight some enemies, the Vector Hound and Commander. Let's go ahead and try to deal with these guys. Let's use Blizzard. I'm not afraid of using the magic right now. Okay, Locke's finally using that Genji glove, but he's not getting much out of it right now. We're going to use Blizzard to try and take these guys down as soon as possible. There we go. See, Locke is doing some pretty decent damage right there. Yeah, okay, so those are the two new enemies down here, so we're already pretty good on that. Okay, so yeah, if you're inside of these little hidden areas where there's normally not a path, you can actually see all of them on the map, which is, quite nice. There's an iron armor right there. Which, let's see here. Iron armor... It gives it 1 extra defense, but it also lowers her magic and other stats, and I don't really want to worry about that right now. Let's see where we need to go. I want to try and get all of these treasure chests as soon as possible. There's one down to the very south, and there's one up here. Let's take care of these first. I'm guessing that iron armor was probably Celeste's before the Empire took it from her after she turned traitor. Now, actually, I do want to talk about that scene where the Imperials were interrogating her for a brief moment, as that scene actually has been censored in non-Japanese releases of the game. In the Japanese release of Final Fantasy VI, on the SNES version, originally, they were actually attacking her and beating her up during the interrogation, and she was in chains. That was changed for, I'm guessing, ESRB rating changes for the West, or maybe they just thought it was too brutal. But it seems to be a consistent change. Oh, we got the critical hit here. Locke is definitely taking a bit of a beating, which is unfortunate. He's parrying right there. Oh, we got another crit. I guess it's because he's a low HP and he doesn't want to die, which is fair. I guess I can understand why they would make the change, especially if it has to do with ESRB ratings. Obviously, they're not going to want to raise the rating on this game, as it could deter audiences. But, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's all that consequential nowadays. Oh, there's an earring. We know what those do. 3 commanders. Okay. This shouldn't be that big of an issue. I think it's a nice piece of trivia, though. There actually surprisingly isn't a large amount of censorship when it comes to this game. Most of them are centered around sprite work and a few changes in dialogue, but this is actually one of the rare cases where there was actually a full visual change on the overworld where the chains were removed. There's the earring right there. That'll increase Celeste's physical, magical attack now. We do know that there is a hidden area right here, but it leads to a dead end. Let's see if we can try and find a way into... Oh, never mind. We're fighting again. I want to see if I can try to find a way into that lower floor that's on the map. Yeah, we can see the already high increase in damage right there from the earring. The Locke Genji Glove combination is working pretty well here. He's not really the strongest attacker in the early game, but this is definitely a good way of giving him that extra bump. So we need to go up. Okay, since we have all the enemies here now, I'm not going to worry about encounters. And we're just going to go ahead and go down here into a much lower floor. We're going to grab this treasure chest. It gives us an X potion. And we can see on the map that there's another treasure chest down there. This treasure chest right here had a ribbon, which is a relic. We'll touch on that in a second. Can we? Oh yeah, we can. We have an empty bucket right here. And a high ether. Okay, let's look at that ribbon. This is a very, very good relic, as it will prevent all status ailments. A silk ribbon enchanted with powerful protective magic. The ribbon is quite nice. Do I want to equip that now? Sure, why not? We'll give that to Celeste. The mithril glove is alright, but I want to try and prevent as many ailments on her as possible, as she's sort of going to be carrying the team for a little bit. But that's everything here, but first things first, just to verify, yes, we have 13 chests here in South Figaro now. We finally completed this town's chest collection, as it just took us going here, into the basement. Why are you helping me? You remind me a lot of someone. What's the matter anyway? I'm helping you because I want to. You know what? Who really needs a reason to help anyone, right? Okay, we gotta sneak past this guard, don't mind us, and we're in the clear. And we're out of South Figaro. It just took a little bit. No happy music out on the overworld, as it's still a little tense around here. Now, everything around here works the same as it did whenever we came through here with Edgar, Locke, and Tara. We can go up to the north here, to Duncan's cabin, and actually sleep and restore our HP and MP. I'm sure Duncan won't mind. This is also a nice little break from all the action and whatnot. You can take a load off. And I guess during this time, before we dive into anything too crazy, I think I'll go ahead and take this time to talk about Celeste in a little bit more detail. So, Celeste marks our first time going over a natural magic user in one of these bios, so let's get to know her and her abilities a bit better. Celeste has a very balanced stat spread, along with a good selection of armor to choose from, making her capable of fulfilling multiple roles in the party at once. Not to mention that, similar to Tara, Celeste will learn magic automatically as she levels up, which, while it might not make too much of a difference, this does mean Celeste can also be easier to build due to this. As she was once a general of the Gestalian Empire, Celeste is well versed in combat, being capable of wielding powerful swords that give her the ability to take on any enemy regardless of defense. And as I said earlier, Celeste's options for equipment aren't lacking either, as she can wear heavy armor to increase her defenses, put on gear that raises her offense to an even higher level, or slot on evasion increasing gear to make her a nearly untouchable support caster. When it comes to raising Celeste's stats with Magicite, due to her versatility, you really can't go wrong with anything. Leaning fully into either magic or strength would probably be the obvious choice, since Celeste can excel well in both professions. But it isn't a bad idea to consider striking a balance between the two and have Celeste perform as sort of a jack-of-all-trades type of character. The choice is ultimately up to you, but my Magicite and gear recommendations are presented as if you are aiming to balance her magic and strength. In terms of relics, there aren't really any key standouts that Celeste might want in particular, but if you intend to make her a full magic user, the Soul of Thamasa should probably be a high priority due to it allowing the caster to cast 2 spells in one turn. which is quite helpful for finishing fights quickly or supporting your allies. I haven't really mentioned Celeste's main ability Runic at all yet, have I? Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. Runic allows Celeste to absorb incoming magic into herself, mitigating the magic's effects and regenerating MP for Celeste based on how much it costs to cast the spell absorbed. This can easily be used to shut down enemies who are capable of using magic, as Celeste can render them incapable of using magic to harm the party, which is quite the power if I do say so myself. However, it is very important to note that when Celeste uses Runic, she will absorb the next magic spell cast regardless of its source, and that includes your party. This means that Runic might accidentally blunder a potential attack or healing spell that your party sends out, wasting the caster's action and the Runic use. Also, while fairly niche, I do want to mention that if Runic absorbed an elemental spell while having an item that allows her to normally absorb that magic as HP, the effect will backfire and drain Celeste's MP instead of regenerating it. Runic in general is a decently useful ability that will require careful consideration on when to use it, as it could very easily trivialize a tough battle or completely cripple your team depending on how you use it. Overall, though, Celeste is a character that brings a lot to any party she's put on, and thanks to the variety of weapons, armor, and magic at her disposal, she can easily find herself as a mainstay no matter how you build her. Alright, once you're done healing up and prepping everything, you can head straight towards South Figaro Cave, as this will be our closest way of getting back to Narsh. Now, actually, this is our first point where if you had not grabbed any treasure chests beforehand in an area, they will now be upgraded and changed. I just want to go ahead and make that note. Now, if you wait a bit longer, more loot in South Figaro Cave will actually change. But, oh, what's that noise? That doesn't sound good. But if you did wait to grab loot, then you can get new stuff here. Again, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal, so I went ahead and grabbed it when we came through here the first time. There are actually also new enemies here, and I want to try and fight them. Okay. There's two of them here that I wanted to fight. Just gonna try and ignore that rumbling sound we're hearing. Totally fine with that. Yeah, Locke's damage is actually pretty impressive right now. I am very happy with it. There we go. Do some decent damage. There we go. Okay, so that's two of the enemies, but there's one more I want to try and find. If we can't get it now, that's okay. I believe that this room led to a treasure chest, so we're gonna go the other way. Alright, so we've already fought these guys, which is not ideal. Celeste has access to Blizzard. In terms of her magic, she sort of mirrors Terra in a way. Terra focuses more on fire magic. Celeste focuses on ice magic. It's sort of a little mirror there. What's that noise? Just a turtle, I guess? Cute little turtle. This also is still a recovery spring, so if you want to just run around here and fight enemies to your heart's content, then go right ahead. Which is exactly what I'm going to do until I find this final enemy. Celeste gained a level up, level 12. She gained more MP, which is pretty nice. Alright, well, I couldn't seem to find this third and final enemy, but that's okay. We'll be able to find them again later. So let's just go ahead and move on. What is that? Something's coming through the wall. That's not good. Alright, so we're up against the tunnel armor. Tunnel armor. If that thing hits us with its magic, they'll be scrubbing two big scorch marks off the wall. So what are we supposed to do? Don't worry. I'll draw its magic with my runic blade. And you'll be okay? Just you watch. Alright, so this is a decent tutorial for Runic. Let's go ahead and talk about the tunnel armor a little bit. As Celeste mentioned, this thing has the power of magic, but it's also a pretty decent physical attacker. Generally speaking, you're going to want to use Runic and then wait for it to cast magic. Celeste will absorb it, and then we just kind of try to hit it. I'm going to weaken it a little bit with Locke here, and then we're going to try and steal an item from it. Generally speaking, if you're low on HP... Oh, hey, we got the air knife. Nice. Generally speaking, if you're low on health, use Locke or Celeste, whoever is available with their ATB being full up. Use them to throw a potion or something. Unfortunately, absorbing magic means that Celeste will absorb her own healing. Just use potions for healing. The tunnel armor doesn't really do anything to multiple targets, so just manage with a single target damage, use potions, use Locke to attack mainly, and you should be perfectly okay. This is a decent gameplay loop here. We just spam Runic, spam attack. We should be perfectly fine. Unless Locke decides to just miss. But there we go. Tunnel armor down. Pretty simple. Nice tutorial to Runic. And yeah, I like this fight. Got the air knife too, which was a lucky draw. Alright, 250 EXP. No, 250 gil. No EXP though. But we got an elixir for our trouble. Ooh, looks like we're finally in the clear. And with that, that was a pretty simple little story now, wasn't it, compared to Sabin's? We can assume that they've made their way to Narsh as well. It's a pretty easy walk from the cave to Narsh, as we know. But, yeah, I mean, that's their story. So, next time on Final Fantasy VI, we'll pick up with our third and final story, with Terra, Edgar, and Bannon as they make their way through the Leth River, and on their way to Narsh. So, with that said, I'll see you soon.